Let's talk about the auto industry with Larry Feldman from Career Changers USA and Tom Backer from Gengras Volkswagen.
Hello everybody, it's Larry Feldman from Career Changers USA, and once again I have the pleasure of sitting next to my buddy Tom Backer, GM of Gengras Volkswagen in Plainville, Connecticut. One of the things that I get asked a lot about is, how do you break a slump? I don't care how good you are, I don't care how long you've been in the business or how short of a time you've been in the business. Every once in a while it seems like you couldn't give a car away for free. So I'm going to throw a couple ideas around. I have Tom. What do you have in your mind, and then I'll throw you what I usually.
I got a couple of things. First of all, I could see, as a manager, customer walking in, I could see some salespeople all of a sudden see that and they'd walk the other way. Obviously, they're in a slump, real serious slump. That one's a serious slump. I remember I had one gentleman that I had that was one of my best that I've ever worked with. He used to sell 40 cars every month. All the customers loved him. I had Italian mamas coming in with their tomato sauce and meatballs because he demanded that, or else he wouldn't sell them a car. They would come in, give him a big hug, give them their meatballs. We would have sales trainings every morning just for 15, 20 minutes, and I would ask the guys, what do you guys want to talk about? And he would always say, let's talk about the basics. Can we go over the sales process?
Well, if we're going to talk basics, here's what I use when I talk to people about breaking a slump. I'm a little bit of a sports nut, and if they're young, I have to explain who these guys were, but let me try it. There was a guy named John Wooden who won 10 championships in 13 years at UCLA, called the Wizard of Westwood. And he did it with short guys, tall guys, but he had a run with a gentleman named Lou Alcindor, who would eventually become Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who was untouchable in college, untouchable. They won 3 straight NCAA championships. Obviously, he went to the pros. He won with the Milwaukee Bucks. He won with the Lakers. He was incredible. After he left the school, the next guy to come in to play center was a gentleman named Bill Walton. To correlate, Walton was the equivalent of a LeBron James. He was the most recruited schoolboy basketball player in the United States. Everybody wanted Bill Walton. He was great already. And he meets John Wooden and he accepts and he can't wait and he says, Coach, please make me like Lou Alcindor / Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's my hero. He says, no problem, Bill. Sit down. I want to show you how to pull up your socks so you don't get a blister. And Walton thought he was kidding. He's like, I'm Bill Walton. He says, Bill, I don't care who you are. Here we start with the basics. The way to break a slump is to get back to what made you successful. Because what happens is we turn inward instead of turning outward. We stop doing a proper greeting, we stop walking people through service, we stop doing a proper walk around, and then we wonder why we're not selling, because we're not doing the process. You had your corporate trainer in earlier, Carrot Doolittle. We were talking about it's all related to process. If you're not doing things the right way, you're not going to get a good result.
And whenever you're in a slump, it's probably you're missing some parts of the process. You're missing some parts of the sales process.
Yep, and the only other thing I would say is the old checkup from the neck up. It all stems to your attitude. How glad you are to see customers, how they see you on your face, how dedicated you are to following up, putting the information in the CRM. Get to the point where you're bulletproof, where you absolutely make sure what you're doing makes sense. Don't get caught in breaking your own process, because you're only costing yourself money.
A personal trick that I had too, I remember when I knew I was in a slump, when I would see a customer walk in and I'd go, oh good, someone else got it. So what I would do is just a little thing. I would force myself. Every service customer, everybody just looking at brochures, I would go up and greet them. It was almost like putting the dog's face in the you know what. I would just force myself in front of every single customer until I ran into what we call a lay down. Someone would say, hey, I came here to buy that car. Great. The next thing I know, I was back on track again.
What he's saying is he didn't stop swinging. Famous thing, Babe Ruth, don't let the fear of striking out stop you from taking a big swing. You got to just keep pushing. The beauty of this business is, besides the fact that you control your own income, it's a numbers game. If you're the best salesperson on earth, other than me, if you're the best salesperson on earth and you take 2 ups a month, what's the most you're going to sell? 2 cars? If somebody may not be that verbally, efficient, maybe they're not as engaging or outgoing, but they really make a living, so they bring everybody into the dealership. They talk to everybody. They're going to outsell you. You have to do what needs to be done. And by the way, it's not sexy, but the most important thing after attitude is consistency. Doing the same intelligent thing every day consistently will yield you incredible results and help you break any slump. Do you agree, sir?
I totally agree.
We're all in. Larry Feldman, Career Changers USA. Tom Backer, GM of Gengras Volkswagen in Plainville, Connecticut. Great place to buy a Volkswagen. We'll see you soon and good selling, everybody.